Prime Minister of Israel says, we will change the face of Gaza Strip. Russia and China stand by the Palestinian Arabs, mind you. This is for the first time that India has come out with a categorical statement on the side of Israel. This nation called Israel was created in modern times on May 14, 1948. During the Second World War, there was Jewish Holocaust, the genocide of Jews conducted by Hitler. And the world has to watch the situation with its breaths held. As usual, I have a lot of beautiful questions from you. I'm happy about them. So I intend to straight away start with the latest questions. I know that questions from even previous session are still pending with me. They are here with me. But I will make a choice of starting with the latest questions. The idea being that your study must be on. You should also be carefully following the global events. Other sessions by other faculty for political science, they are going on. And then based on all of this, when you come up with your questions for me, I should always, with pleasure, start with the latest questions. I only take this opportunity to draw your attention to ongoing conflict in Israel. It is a major conflict. It is a great danger to the whole world. Now, even when I know that there is just a little bit of risk of taking like 70 seconds extra, I still take this opportunity to draw your attention to my video on our channel, Chanakya Mandal's channel. Many years ago, as we always used to do, and doing that is not yet finally over, that at regular intervals, depending on the relevance of a given subject, we used to conduct Vyakhyan Malas. Now, last such Vyakhyan Mala we held was pre-Corona time. That was the third part of the original Vyakhyan Mala known as Jai Bharat, Jai Jagat. And the third part was called 21ve Shatak Bharatache. So on the similar lines, almost 20 years ago, we had held a Vyakhyan Mala with the title Navya Vaibhavachi's Swapne Sajavi, the first line of our Prarthana. The whole idea was, I have narrated the stories of 8 nations, mind you, nations. Kathakathan hai, पण ते व्यक्तींचं कथाकथन नाहीये. आधुनिक काळातली राष्ट्र कशी उभी राहिली. So I hope you will agree that we are not wasting time when I am drawing your attention to that Vyakhyanmala. तर मी 2 तास आणि फॉर्मॅट कथाकथनाचं आहे की मी जणू गोष्ट सांगतोय. फक्त ती गोष्ट व्यक्तीची नाहीये, राष्ट्राची गोष्ट आहे. ते कसं उभं राहिलं आणि ती गोष्ट सांगताना मध्यवर्ती काही ठेवली आहे कल्पना. उदाहरणार्थ अमेरिका, तर सिव्हिल वॉर आणि एब्राहम लिंकन असे मध्यवर्ती ठेवून हे अमेरिका हे राष्ट्र कसं उभं राहिलं. चायना, लाईक इट ऑर नॉट, आपला कॉम्पिटिटर आहे, आपला रायव्हल आहे, शत्रू आहे आपला, भारताला दर पावलाला चाईट मारण्याचं काम, अडथळे आणण्याचं काम, पुटिंग अ स्पोक इन अवर व्हील, हे चायना सातत्याने करतोय. पण इट इज अन अनडिनाइंग फॅक्ट दॅट चायना बाय नाव हॅज रिझन ॲज अ सुपर पॉवर. हे नव्या वैभवाचीच स्वप्ने सजावी हे जेव्हा मी करत होतो सुमारे 20 वर्ष, हे 2005 किंवा 6 आहे, म्हणजे 17-18 वर्ष झाली. चायना वॉज ऑलरेडी ऑन द पाथ ऑफ रायझिंग ॲज अ सुपर पॉवर, उगवती महासत्ता. तर चायनाची स्टोरी, ऑफकोर्स त्याच्या मध्यवर्ती माओ त्से तुंग हे व्यक्तिमत्व, त्याचं चरित्र, आणि मी कथाकथनात फोकस केलंय. ज्या कथा चित्त थरारक आहे ती लॉंग मार्चची कथा. अशी मॉडर्न जपान कसं उभं राहिलं, फोकस आहे ज्या प्रोसेसला, फेनॉमिननला नाव आहे मेजी रिस्टोरेशन. मला इथे स्क्रीनवर जेवढे दिसत आहेत त्यांच्या चेहरे आणि डोळ्यावरून मला लक्षात येत आहे की त्यांना कळलाय मुद्दा. दे गॉट द पॉइंट की ही एंटायर व्याख्यान मला सर्व UPSC इन जनरल, पण पॉलिटिकल सायन्स इन पर्टिक्युलर त्यांना रेलेव्हंट आहे. तर त्या 8तलं एक पूर्ण 2 तासाचं व्याख्यान, इस्रायल हे राष्ट्र आधुनिक काळात उभं कसं राहिलं. त्यामुळे त्यामध्ये अरब इस्रायल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, आणि मी एवढं सांगतो की खूपच खोलात जाऊन मी तो सांगितलाय. फोकस अर्थात 2 गोष्टींवर केलं, तो वेळ वाचवतो. आपापलं योग्य वाटलं तर वेळेचं प्लॅनिंग करून ॲज युज्युअल कानात हेडफोन घालून अगेन ॲज युज्युअल ते ऐका, नोट्स घ्या, आणि ते करून असलेल्या प्रश्नांना मी इथे आहेच तुमच्याकरता कायम. काल आपण आपल्या टीमनी त्यातला एक भाग एडिट करून छोटा 23 मिनिटाचा भागही आपल्या चॅनलवर पुन्हा पोस्ट केलाय. तो बरोबर 23 मिनिटाचा भाग, फक्त हे आत्ताचा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट 6 ऑक्टोबर पासून त्याला रेलेव्हंट पार्ट, की तो मी अनालाइज करतोय 18 वर्षांपूर्वीच, पण तो मांडलेला आहे. तर आता वेळात वेळ काढून ते पाहण्याचे करावे आमचे येथे इष्टमित्र सहवर्तमान. So in this session, I choose not to spend time on the ongoing Arab-Israel conflict. I will only summarize by saying that the situation that exploded on 7th of October, day before yesterday, is extremely explosive, not only for Israel or not only for the Arab-Israel conflict, it is extremely explosive for the whole world, mind you. Hopefully, without taking much further time, I will draw your attention to the fact that United States took no time to immediately declare that it stands solidly behind Israel. None other than the president himself came onto live TV and stated that statement also is very serious. And then again, US, represented by the president, did not just stop by making an announcement that we stand solidly behind Israel. I hope and I do expect of you to have noticed by now that US has actually deployed its navy to Israel. So the whole thing is very serious. Statements emerging from Israel also are very serious. There also, I will actually draw your attention only to one sentence, and that is Israel's prime minister, who said, get ready for a long war, okay? But the sentence to which I'm drawing your attention, the sentence is, please hold your breath and listen to the sentence. Prime Minister of Israel says, we will change the face of Gaza Strip. We will change the face of Gaza Strip. This is pretty explosive, extremely explosive. The Hamas rockets showering on Israel These are supplied by Iran. At the same time, the organization Hezbollah in Lebanon begins its activities against Israel. So Israel has to move army, including tanks, on the northern front also. Gaza Strip is world's most dense population. The Palestinian Arabs live there. On one side, they have the Mediterranean Sea, and on all remaining sides, it is Israel. Hamas dominates the Gaza Strip. On the eastern border of Israel, there is another Palestinian territory known as the West Bank. So that is the West Bank of River Jordan. Palestinian Arabs live there, but it is a separate administrative entity. And right now, they are not attacking Israel. The attacks are emerging from the Gaza Strip, which is to the southwestern corner on the coast of Mediterranean Sea. I repeat, it is world's densest population. 3.3 million people live in a very, very small, crammed place. Huh? Do you begin to see the seriousness of Prime Minister's sentence that we will change the face of Gaza Strip? So take a pause and think about what is he thinking. Now today we have the reports about Israel attacking selected targets within that Gaza Strip. Israel has a very powerful and competent air force. So the news is saying that now they are targeting the homes of Hamas leaders. Okay, but they will not stop at that. If so far you have not realized, let me take another 15 seconds to tell you that when Prime Minister says we will change the face of Gaza Strip, okay, please hold your breath. This might be a plan to change the complexion of the demography in Gaza Strip, which may mean that now Israel Defense Forces will pressurize, come down heavily on Gaza Strip from all sides in such a way that the Palestinian Arabs are left with no choice but to leave Gaza Strip in search for security. And from Gaza Strip, they have only one place where they can go, that is Egypt. So what is coming up is very serious. Meanwhile, Russia and China stand by the Palestinian Arabs, mind you. So Russia and China have already declared that they stand by Palestinian Arabs. So including Hamas, mind you, Hamas is a proclaimed terrorist organization. And still, Russia and China announced that it stands on the side of both of them are on the side of Palestinian Arabs. That Iran announced it is no wonder, because actually Iran is behind all this. Iran is actively behind all this. So the Grand Ayatollah, the highest constitutional authority in Iran, yesterday declared that they stand by Palestinian Arabs. Saudi Arabia has been cautious in the statements. And unlike all previous times, mind you, this is for the first time that India has come out with a categorical statement on the side of Israel. This also, please note, is a major change in our foreign policy. Actually, this nation called Israel was created in modern times on May 14, 1948. The date is May 14, 1948. Okay. India did not recognize Israel formally, mind you. So India did not have any formal diplomatic relationship with Israel. What goes without saying is, therefore, India did not have its consulate or embassy in Israel. And because we had not conferred diplomatic recognition on Israel, so also Israel did not have its consulate or embassy in India. Okay? It is only as late as 1977, that is because of changed equations between Arab-Israel conflict. Those are changed equations in Arab-Israel conflict. Okay? That it suited our foreign policy, okay, to not still confer diplomatic recognition on Israel, but we opened our informal political relation, diplomatic relation with Israel. As pol science students, you need to understand these complications. Even by 1977, India had not conferred formal diplomatic recognition on Israel, but we opened our relationship with Israel. Okay, what it means is there is no question of the two countries having each other's embassy. Okay, embassy, dutavas, is only when there is a mutual formal diplomatic relation. What happened in 1977 was, without formally recognizing Israel, so which means for India, the nation called Israel did not exist. So without doing that, we allowed Israel to open a consulate in India, and we opened our consulate in Tel Aviv. I'm demanding of you to know and remember that Tel Aviv is the capital city of Israel. Okay? Similarly, when there was a major change in Arab-Israel conflict, only then we finally conferred diplomatic recognition on Israel in 1991. When we opened consulate in 1977, that was Janata Party government in India, and the Minister for External Affairs was Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Reason I'm saying this is because in modern times, be it Jana Sangha or its new avatar in BJP and its mother organization RSS, have always been pro-Israel, pro-Jews in modern times. While India's official position, until, if I may say, 1991, was always pro-Palestine. Frankly speaking, the reason is Palestinian Arabs are Muslims by religion. That brings two factors in India into focus while even forming the foreign policy. One factor is that there is a substantial Muslim population in India, and it may feel culturally, linguistically, religiously connected to its Arab brethren. It is almost natural, and we need to understand that. So, in light of that, India needed to take, or India was considered to need to take a pro-Palestinian Arab stand. And the second practical factor was petrol. And India was nearly, almost totally dependent on the countries in West Asia. All of them, without exception, are Muslim Arab countries. So this is real, mind you, the realist theory of international relations. These are real considerations, and India needs to pay attention. Okay, so by 1977, how did we allow the consulate to be opened? You will see that there also two factors come into play. One was changed equation of Arab-Israel conflict. Right now, I'm choosing not to spend time in that point. I will expect you to go deeper. And as you know, I don't have to separately say, I'm always there. But those changed equations made it politically expedient. आता सोयीचं होतं. आता गैरसोय नव्हती. आता allowing Israel to open consulate in India, there was no danger of Palestine or Arabs perceiving this as a move against them. So it was okay. Huh? But the second factor is, don't forget, after all, people do matter. Leaders do matter. So it was Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the Janasangha, or all RSS, BJP Janasangha person with proclivities in favor of Israel. So the things come together finally in 1977, helping India let Israel open consulate in India, and we opened our consulate. Similarly, by 1991, okay, the whole global equation changed. Okay. I hope you immediately pick up when I just tell you that by 1991, it was end of the Cold War. So given the Cold War conditions, our foreign policy, then also known as non-alignment, okay, there is no denying the fact that it was pro-Soviet Russia. And the Soviet bloc was pro-Arabs. That was the global picture. But once there was no Cold War, the Cold War considerations also making or forcing India take anti-Israel stand, they were not there. Okay. But more importantly, again, something on which I'm not taking time, but reminding you that as pol science students, you need to go deeper. Okay. There is a treaty between Palestine Liberation Organization and Israel, PLO, and Israel in 1990. The treaty is 1990. PLO, until then also, was headed by this illustrious and charismatic Palestinian Arab leader, Yasser Arafat. He was charismatic, he was capable, and after Arafat's death, that is around 1993, sometime around 1993, the Palestinian Arabs have not found his equal in any other leader. The PLO was the organization fighting for Palestinian Arabs. PLO and Israel signed a treaty in 1990, okay, whereby PLO formally recognized the existence of Israel as nation state. And in return for that, Israel recognized PLO's right to represent Palestinian Arabs and this Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Okay, that is known as two-state solution. That also is one more point on which I'm reminding you that I'm choosing not to take time. But again, for nth number of time, I'm saying in today's session that as pol science students, you are required to go deeper into what is known as the two-state solution. Maybe some details follow in the evening. And there I hope you see that you are not wasting your time by maybe hearing some part of the story the second time. But two-state solution. Then also remember that even today, okay, that point about two-state solution holds good. Holds good. Okay. So actually my mind is telling me that, okay, let us take hopefully just about 2 or 3 minutes trying to understand what is this two-state solution. So I already told you that modern nation state with the name Israel came into being formally on May 14, 1948. Okay. That land, now called Israel, goes straight back to Bible time, biblical times. Even the name Israel is from Bible, the Old Testament. And this is the land that Old Testament calls as the land of milk and honey. Old Testament also calls it the promised land. Prime Minister of Israel says, we will change the face of Gaza Strip. And these chosen few are Israelites. Their first prophet, Abraham, was in Babylon, current Iraq, and almost current Baghdad. There he got this revelation by God that I have reserved this land for you. You take your people and go there. Those your people are Jews. Then also to cut a very interesting but a very complicated story short. Okay. The point is around 5th century BC, Jews lost control over Israel and Jews were driven out of this land called Israel. So Jews lost Israel almost 2,500 years ago. It was 5th century BC. And then there is a whole history of different powers occupying this land. Okay. In the latter times, it got the name Palestine. Palestine is also an ancient name. Indians used to call it Philistine, Hindi. In Hindi also it is Philistine. So Palestine also is an ancient name. But after Jews lost control over Israel, then the territory was known as Palestine. Then again, to cut a long, interesting story short, around 1000 AD, okay, Islamic powers conquered Palestine in general, but Jerusalem in particular. This is around 1000 AD. And since then, it is, you can say, Arab or even Ottoman, Turkish, who were ruling Palestine, and Jerusalem, the holy city for all three Abrahamic religions, was under their rule. Then, around 1895, an international movement called the Zionist Movement. International Zionist Movement. I'm cutting many stories short, please remember. It is this international Zionist movement that finally fixed its goal. And the goal is to create Israel in the ancient biblical land. And then during the Second World War, there was Jewish Holocaust, the genocide of Jews conducted by Hitler. And by even a modest estimation, Nazis are supposed to have killed more than 70 lakh Jews. This is horrible, absolutely horrible. So that built a sympathy for creation of Israel. Okay. This is how United Nations. Okay. So as again, I will stop saying as pol science students, you are required to know all this. So United Nations came into being on October 24, 1945, with 5 world powers as permanent members of United Nations Security Council, and that is with veto power. Okay, so the point is, United Nations passed a unanimous resolution, mind you, including UNSC, passed a unanimous resolution creating Israel. And then that resolution itself spoke about the two-state solution. And then, simply speaking, two-state solution means in this land of Palestine, okay, we will create 2 states. Israel for Jews and Palestine for Arabs. This is known as two-state solution. And beginning with May 14, 1947, there is almost a permanent warlike condition. There have been 4 full-blown wars between Arabs and Israel. They are called the Arab-Israel conflict. 4 wars. Okay. The last and the 4th one, the last so far, full-blown war. I'm talking of full-blown war and officially declared war. The last one had commenced on October 6, 1973. Ask yourself, is your mind telling something to you? So it is 50 years ago, exactly. And now Hamas chose the date of the morning of October 7 to shower over 5,000 rockets on Israel. Mossad is a world-famous spy organization. Mossad is respected and Mossad is feared for even its ruthlessness. Okay? That Mossad, with all its image and the technological wizardry, okay, still could not collect data and information enough to know that Hamas has been preparing on such a massive scale, mind you. This is not one rocket launched from some secret place. This is 5,000 rockets showered within a couple of hours. It takes a long preparation, mind you. So Mossad couldn't pick up the news, the chatter, the brief, okay, with all Pegasus and the way they monitor internet and everything. But Israel and Mossad are caught completely off guard. Like I told you, the last formal war that had begun on October 6, 1973, that is known as the Yom Kippur War. Yom, Y-O-M, Yom, space, Kippur, K-I-P-P-U-R, straight away. It is known as Yom Kippur War. Yom Kippur is the Jewish festival of light. Diwali. There is compulsory military service in Israel. So every Israeli citizen above age 18 is a soldier. And depending on the situation, they can be called for duty. So this being Yom Kippur, and again, no news, no information, no intelligence on the Arabs preparing to launch a simultaneous attack on Israel. So Israel was on holiday. There is a family feast. कुटुंब एकत्र बसून जेवतं ती धार्मिक आहे की योम किप्पूरचं सगळ्यात महत्वाचं कृत्य काय तर ती फॅमिली सगळे एकत्र बसून they have a feast. Actually, this feast was going on when this tiny Israel, surrounded on all sides by Arab countries, Israel was attacked from all sides simultaneously. And Israel had no idea. Israel was completely caught off guard. The Yom Kippur War. Eventually, Israel was able to collect itself, launch a counter-attack. तुम्हाला मी जी 2 तासाची सांगितली त्याच्यातही ही सर्व कहाणी सांगितली. आता संध्याकाळी UPSCच्या तासाला आकार कसा आहे तो पाहू. I may have my own reasons to choose how to spend the time on this Arab-Israel conflict over there. पण थोडीशी कदाचित रिपिटेशन होईल, पण large, जर I choose to go deeper into that story, then there will be large areas which I have not touched upon. So I will summarize by saying that I hope you have understood how extremely serious the situation is now, as of now. And the world has to watch the situation with its breaths held. So I hope you have enjoyed as much as I have enjoyed. I'm telling you, I have enjoyed this. I hope you have. And we will continue our enjoyment every Monday at 11:30. But right now, with everyone's permission and wishing all the very best to everyone,